I want to show you a simple ad strategy that is responsible for generating millions of dollars online for one of my clients. It is responsible for generating hundreds of thousands of dollars for my business, and is responsible for generating tens of thousands of dollars for other dog trainers. And the crazy part is that it's so simple that you don't need any Facebook experience. You don't need any crazy fancy websites. You don't even need to be tech savvy in order to set everything up. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. That way you can start implementing this yourself as well. So my name is Jorge Mateo. I am founder and CEO of Canine Conversions. And what we do is we help dog trainers grow and scale their business. Okay, so let's dive right into it. I'm going to show you the entire system first to show you exactly how everything's set up. Okay, so I'm just going to put ad here. Okay, you're going to have the ad, and usually on this ad, I typically like to put it on just stories, either just Facebook or Instagram stories. I know right now we're only talking about Instagram, so I'm just going to be focusing on Instagram, but I just want you to know that, this method that I'm about to show you here works great on both Instagram and Facebook, okay? But I'm just going to use Instagram for this example, and I just love in the stories, and the reason why I do is because nobody expects to see an ad on the stories. People always seem to get pitched on newsfeed, so it just seems organic, right? And on this ad, you want to make sure that you have some sort of video. Again, the whole point of this working is that you want to make it seem that it looks organic. All right, as organic as possible. And one of the ways you do that is you have the ad on the story, right? And you have a video of you in selfie mode. One of the best tips that I can give you whenever it comes to filming ads is that selfie mode still performs or outperforms any other style. And it was funny because I had one other client, and then he made me a selfie mode video, and then he spent around $5,000 on professional video editor and lighting and everything for like another ad, and it was all the same message. It was literally everything the same, and the selfie mode still outperformed the other one. And the reason is because it didn't look like an ad itself. So you want to make sure that it looks as organic as possible, and then you want to make sure that you're filming it in vertical mode, in story mode. Okay. So you have that, right? And then your call to action. So what a CT is, your call to action, if you don't know what the terminology is pretty much what you're telling people to do, right? So you see an ad and say, hey, click the link below. In this case, it's going to be DM me the word, okay? So it's like DM me the word train, okay? Bam, okay? So when it comes to the ads, you want to make sure that you have a call to action, but also you have some sort of offer. Like, why are people going to even want to click on your ad? And why do they even want to DM you a specific word, right? So here at Canine Conversions, one of the things that we tell a lot of our clients, and we've already tested this out, is that we like to use transformation session. Evals work great, consultation also works great. But I'm a numbers guy. I test a lot, and I like to test winner versus non-winners, and I just try to see. I'm always looking for that other better thing, and nothing has ever been beat transformation session right now. So transformation session, essentially, it's exactly what an eval is. It's just you just want to provide a little bit of value to them. Meaning, if it's a quick fix, whatever it is, you just want to show them that you know what you're doing. You want to wow them. Remember that you have to understand there's so many other dog trainers in your area, and there's so many other people that they can go to, and why do they even want to choose you over everyone else? So it's like you have to be a little bit different than what everyone else, and a lot of people are afraid to just provide a lot of value because they feel that they're going to lose that client because they're going to do it on their own. And in reality, it's like people are not going to do things their own. Like two things could happen. Either one, they would try it by themselves and they see it's going to be hard, and then they're going to want to hire the person who helped them and gave them the most value, or they see that, oh my God, this person just helped my dog in 30 minutes while I tried days or weeks or months. And then they're going to be happy. Even if they don't buy from you, they're going to be like, whoa, this person helped me, let me just go back to them. So it's like it just puts you in a different position than everyone else, right? So this is why I like to over deliver, and this is why even for me it's like this right here, everything that I'm going to show you, I have a free program where I show you how to set this up, like the technical stuff side of it, like I show you step by step on how to set everything up. And that's me providing as much value for you, because two things can happen. Either one, it can get a little overwhelming and be like, you know what, I'll just hire Canine Conversions to do it for me, or we get people who are winning. Like, for example, one of my clients, his name is Trevor. He made, he was making $3,000 at Petco, and then he made an additional $8,000 off of this free, training or program that I have. And this is exactly what it is, just the TM ads, right? And what happens is he's like, yo, Canine Conversions, they know what they're doing. I'm going to want to continue working with them because I don't want to do this. I want to focus on growing my business. I'm just going to hire them. And now he's having like $20,000 record-breaking months. Like, he's just having record-breaking months month after month after month. So this thing works, right? So you don't be afraid to like over-deliver. But anyways, yeah, you just want to make sure that you have some sort of offer. So like, for example, hey, Miami dog owners, if you have a dog who's pulling on the leash, your walks are no longer enjoyable, jumping on every guest that you get, and you just get embarrassed every time guests come over, I fully understand what you really want. It's a well-trained dog who listens and have a better relationship with you. So I have a solution for you. I'm offering free transformation sessions for 7 dog trainers. All you have to do is just DM me the word transform, and I'll hook you up with this, right? So that's example like of a video. All right. So you see, it's like you talk about their, what they're going through. So their problems. Okay. And then you talk about, their ideal outcome, which is like what you really want is an enjoyable walk, a better relationship with your dog. Right. So then then you talk about like that ideal scene. All right. And then I just made this ad just on the spot. Right. But then you talk about that ideal scene. And then after that, what happens is you start transitioning to like the solution. All right. And that solution is that free transformation session. And then it goes to the call to action, right? Like that is how I typically like to do my ads. Okay. So then this is what the video says. All right. So then after someone says, DM me the word, train, or DM me the word transform, what happens is, all right, I'm gonna go here, say ad, it'll take them into the DMs, and the only DMs that says, hey, hope you're doing great, DM me the word train if you want to claim your free transformation session, right? So this is already inside the DMs, right? And the way that we set it up is that we already have the keyword, we call it keyword. We already have the keyword here to where all they have to do is just click on one word, or just click on that one button, automatically send the word, transform, right? Like when it comes to ads and when it comes to, this setup right here, what you want is you want to have as least friction as possible. The more friction that you have, the more steps you have, the more higher chance that you get someone to get lost. Remember, all of this when it comes to Facebook ads or even business, it's all specifically ads. It's all a game of probabilities. You want to increase your probabilities of having someone to do something. Like nothing is guaranteed. Like not even tomorrow is guaranteed, but of course you want to do everything in your power to increase the chances of you living another day. That's why you're not doing reckless stuff, right? So it's like business and paid ads is the same. It's like you want to do as many of these little things in order to increase the chances of someone doing something. So we just put a button here, someone clicks on it, and bam, it hits the word transform. And then here, this is where you start the conversation, and you want to go back and forth with the conversation. It's like, hey, what got you to reach out? And then they're going to tell you, like, oh, my dog is pulling, what, I don't even, enjoy my walks anymore. And then of course you want to acknowledge that, and then you're like, okay, I hear you. It sucks, blah, blah. Tell me more about that. And then you just want to hear their pain points, right? But the whole point of that is not to sell anybody in the DMs, all right? That is the worst thing you could do. You cannot sell anybody in DMs. The whole point of that is to get them off the DMs. You just want to get them off the DMs, and then you want to capture a phone number. Okay, so then after you say, okay, great, no problem at all, I think I can help you out. What is the best number to reach out to you? And that is literally that line. Okay, no problem. I think that we can help you out, or I know for sure we can help you out. What is the best number to reach you, right? That is how you get a phone number. And once you get a phone number, right, that is what we call a hot lead, because all the DMs that are coming, they're all leads. But what we want is a hot, qualified lead, someone who's really interested. Because yes, even though this DM ads have worked great in the past. At the same time, they're known for having a lot of BS. Like I get so many BS messages right there, but it's fine. I'm okay getting those BS messages because in between those BS messages, there are qualified leads and clients. And that's one of a lot of things that people do not understand. And the more you understand this concept, the more you're going to win, because at the end of the day, it's just a game of numbers. That's what it is. Business is a game of numbers. So if you know that, okay, I got 8 crappy leads, but one of them actually bought a board and train package for me, like that right there can be a really big ROI, right? So don't get discouraged for the first, 5 messages if they're just, BS messages and they're just people who are just curious, not serious, or they don't even have the owners. Like, it's fine. Like, I've gotten to a point where I even got some really inappropriate, pictures being sent to me to the DMs running this strategy. But you know what? It's fine. I just ignore it and I just really put my attention and focus on people who actually want to be helped, which is, people who have that problem. And as long as you just do that, then, it's gonna work really, really good, right? Here's another tip. All right, another tip when it comes to this is that you want to have tennis communication. So I'm just going to put tennis comms. So what tennis communication simply means is that you're responding fast and not taking hours or days to respond, because once you do that, you're going to lose that prospect, okay? So as soon as one comes in, it's like, boom. It's like, hey, thanks for reaching out. Well, I got you to reach out. And then once they respond, you want to acknowledge, and you just want to have that tennis communication. So remember, in tennis, what happens? The ball's going back and forth, back and forth. The exact same thing that you want to do that. And then you just want to get them off, want to get them off the DMs, get their phone number. Okay. So what happens after you get the phone number? So now that you got the phone number, all right, I'm going to put it right here. Once you get a phone number, what this whole thing is you can do 2 things. All right. Depending on where you're at, or if you're able to do this right at the spot, right? What you want to do is you want to either, number 1, fact find them. You want to fact find them, meaning that, like, you want to take the time and you want to figure out what their main issues are. You want to see if you can help them out. We have a whole process of what to do on that initial call, because at the end of the day, that is that initial call, right? And the whole purpose of that is to fact find, to see if you can even help them. You want to find out what are their biggest pain points, what are the biggest struggles. Want to make sure that they're even qualified to even meet you, meaning that they may be financially qualified or not, and have them getting excited to even meet you in person, right? So you want to make sure that you have time for this. This is not like a quick 5-minute call. Like, you want to really dive into their pain points to see if it's going to be a right fit for you, because nothing is worse than saying yes to everyone, and once you finally meet them in person, they're not even qualified, right? If that happens, that means that the fact finding part of it was not done correctly, and this is where a lot of trainers fail. And this is why whenever other ad agencies provide stuff, name, email, and phone numbers, and no systems or no sales training or no way to know exactly how to contact the leads, they end up blaming the leads because they're really, really bad. Because what happens is they meet in person, they say yes to everyone, and then they're having like 10 evals that day and they couldn't even close a single person because none of them were qualified, right? If this part was done correctly, that means that you probably would have decreased the chances of meeting all these people and only meeting qualified people. Okay, so that's one. That's if you have time. If you don't have time, right, and you only have 5 minutes, you still want to give them a call right away, because you want to make that, right? And the whole objective of this call is to book an appointment. It's to set them up for another call. So here is, you want to make sure, like, if you don't have that time, is you just want to call them up and you just want to set that, set a time. So set an appointment. Okay. So then after you do this, you set an appointment, you actually meet them at the appointment, this all over the phone. You want to make sure that you're fact finding, and this right here that you're doing right here, you're going to be doing right here. Okay. It's just that this one right here, if you have the time and if you give you that number, you want to call them right there at the spot. And if they have, both of you guys have the time, then better. If not, then you just want to give them a quick call and try to set an appointment. That way you can actually have the time to actually fact finding them. All right. And then from there, you'll meet them in person for that, for the transformation session. I'm going to put TS, or I'm just going to put eval, because that's the most common one that we're using, right? So either way, they're going to end up at this transformation session, or they're going to, from the fact finding from the very beginning, or you're going to have to do an extra step. Okay. And this right here is the most important. No matter what anybody says, that first initial call is the most important. And that's where the skill of sales comes in. Okay. Just because knowing what to say to a lead, how to say it, your tonality, knowing exactly the right questions to ask. Like, that is how you win. That is how you get them excited. That is how you know if someone's even financially qualified to even meet you. That is how you pre-frame this transformation session. That way they know that at the end of this session, there's going to be an offer made to them. All right. Versus those who do not do this wrong, they're just going to end up here and there, and everyone's going to say, oh, I thought it was free. I thought it was free. I thought it was free. And you're going to continue getting that answer. That's why those people who don't watch the sales training that we provide every single client that we get, end up saying that all the leads are trash because everyone's thinking that it's free after they're meeting them. But the problem is that they're not finding fact enough. They're not asking the right questions. They have no idea who they are. They think that they're going to come already sold. But the problem with that is that, there's so many other trainers in your area. So you need to have some sort of process that, one, makes you stand out, but two, get them excited to want to work with you and forget about all the other trainers because you made them feel understood and you made them feel like your product or your service is the only service that can help them with their problems. And the only way we can do that if we actually dive deep into what their biggest problems are, because then everything connects together, right? So I'm gonna give you an example, one of those examples that I like to explain. Let's say we have lead one, okay? So in lead one, it just tells you, hey, my dog just jumped on my grandma, right? Or just jumps on people, and doesn't really give you a lot. And a good trainer would just probably be like, oh, okay, cool, and just kind of move on to question number two. But then, let's say for example we have, or actually not, I'm not a lead, trainer number one. And then I'm gonna put here trainer number two. This other trainer actually facts find them and tells them like, okay, cool, your dog's jumping on people. Did something happen? And then the lead is like, yeah, well, he jumped on grandma. And then, this trainer is like, or this, this trainer tells them, okay, cool, like this did, he jumped the grandma, did something happen, did someone got hurt? So now he's diving deeper into it, right? Later on to find out that the reason why he's looking for dog training is because, the dog jumped on, on grandma, and then, now one of your family members is trying to, is gave you an ultimatum. It's either you're gone with the dog, or the dog gets, to the animal shelter, and then you don't know what to do because, you just can't move somewhere else. You don't have, it's not an easy move, whatever it is. Like, now their pain points. Now that that there's some pain of why they want to do that, right? And that is when you offer your services, and you make them feel understood, and to the point that your services is the only thing to their solution, right? Which is either surrender the dog or you're gonna become homeless, pretty much. It's a little extreme, but you get the point, right? So it's like, this is where great trainers are at, and this is these are the great trainers that make the most money, because one, they truly make the person feel understood. They truly find out what are the biggest pain points and show them that their services are the only services in the area that can help them with that solution. Because at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're selling an outcome. You're not selling dog training, you're selling an outcome, and this is, those trainers who really understand this are the ones that make the most money. So this is why this call is the most important call. And this is all because of one skill, and that is sales. At the end of the day, it is sales. And I understand, maybe you didn't come into dog training business to learn this skill, but you are a business owner, right? And as a business owner, if you want to win in this game, you have to make sure that this right here is on point, and that you actually take this serious. Because I have the stats, and in our agency, those trainers who take this seriously are the one that make up the most money. And those people who say, I don't need any sales training because I'm already, I already have a 90% closing rate, but they've never ran any ads, and these closing rates are only from referrals, and their ego get in the way, and they just don't want to take sales seriously, are the ones that just end up losing, and the one that ends up saying the leads are trash. But at the end of the day, it's not that the leads are trash, it's that there was no system in place and there was no sales in place, because it is two different ball games. All right, you cannot compare closing a referral versus closing a cold lead. The cold lead never heard from you, has never ever heard of you. You know, so how do you expect someone to drop 2 to 3 G's on one of your services when they never even heard of you? Like, how insane does that sound? So it's a skill, it's a system that is easily learned with practice on how to get someone to know you, like you, trust you, and then have them get excited to work with you and say, you know what, I don't need any other trainers in my area. I got my boy or I got my girl here, you know, and that is how you win. Anyways, so I know I went on a rant. But this is how, you know, this is pretty much, you know, the setup for the DM strategy. But at the end of the day, it's like you're starting to see, like, you know, just the leads themselves is not a lot. It's just you need to have some sort of, you know, sales system in place and knowing exactly what you got to do in order to close these people, right? How do you move them further into that? Because you're not going to close anybody in the DMs. Like, do not try that. You cannot say, yeah, I offer a board and trade for $3 for $3,000. You're just going to scare people off. Like, they need to see the value before you even drop any price. So this is the best way to do it, is you get them on a call, you fact find, you make them feel understood, you figure out what are the biggest pain points, and then from there, you meet them in person, and then that is where you can show them exactly, you do what you do, your eval, you provide a little bit of value, and then bam, you close them. But yeah, so anyways, if you want to learn how to run DM ads, I do actually have, you know, below this video, I have like different offers, right? I have a free program where I'll show you how to run these DM ads yourself. And I'll show you exactly the setup. It took me months to make because I wanted to make it as easy as possible for people to just follow along, you know? So I have that one. I also have my Insta Leads program, which is $47 a month. This one I do like because it shows you about the DM ads as well, but it got that more personal touch where we have weekly Q&As. That way, if you do get stuck in any of this, then, you know, we can do that. You know, we'll help you answer any questions. We can dive into your campaigns. We can see what's going on. And, you know, they're every Wednesday that we host them. Or if you're just like, you know what, I don't want to do this myself, I just rather hire someone to do this, then, you know, I also have another link where I'm offering a free transformation session. And what this transformation session is, it can go 2 ways. Either one, we can, you know, sit down, see where your biggest constraints are, we'll see where you need the most help on, and then we'll give you a 12-week program for you to follow along. Or if you're someone who's just like, you know what, I just rather have someone do it myself, then, you know, you can just schedule a call. We'll show you how everything is, and then we can set up, you know, the DM ads for you or any other strategy. But this strategy right here it's a very beginner friendly strategy. I hate using the word beginner just because, you know, it's responsible for making millions of dollars online, and till this day I'm still running it, and it has made me, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars with this strategy, and other trainers, it has made them tens of thousands of dollars. But, you know, this is what usually they start with, and then they pivot to something a little bit more, you know, a little bit more advanced and a little bit more stable. And what I mean by stable is starting implementing sites and landing pages and automations, and like it's more structured. This one right here, I've noticed that this one does give you to a certain cap, but it still can get you up to, like, you know, $20,000 months, to be quite honest, once you do it right. And then, well, the other one is more like for scaling, and it's just a whole entire processes and systems that everything works. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I hope you learned from this video. The DM ads is one of those strategies that I just absolutely love, and there's a reason why I still till this day run it. So click the link, any of the links below, depending on where you want the free one, do you need a little bit more help, or do you just want someone to do this for you? I got all the links below. So hope you found some content and some good content in this video. Don't forget to give me a like to help my algorithm, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao.